Hey,
How are you, Karina?
good. How are you? I love your hoodie. I have the same one. So you really don't need an introduction. You are Dallas royalty. Everybody loves you. You're always in the community. Thank you for joining us. Now, my first question to you is, how much money does it take to buy Mustang, Texas?
You know, not as much as you think, but not a little bit. And it's crazy how people paid attention to that. What it was there's a guy that I played basketball with for years, a really good friend, and unfortunately, he was dying of cancer, and this was like his
Oh,
big asset. And so his family basically said, you know what, would you help him out and help us out, and would you buy this? And so I thought, it's for my friend, and owning the town seemed pretty cool. And
yeah.
so I did it. I wish I could tell you I had some big plans, but I don't. People like to talk about the history of this place, which is kind of sordid and crazy.
Right.
But we'll probably clean all that up and just, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll just, just have a town.
That's what rich people do. It's very Shit's Creek of you. Have you watched the show Shit's
I've
Creek?
seen a couple episodes, but yeah, no, it's not quite.
Well, no, because you'd never be in that situation. But it's just so interesting that you just bought a town. Maybe you could rename it Maverick,
Yeah, you
Texas.
never know. Maybe I'll rename it Karina, right? Or
That
97 kind of,
you
you
see
know?
what I'm saying, Mark? Yes, we're on the same wavelength here. I love it.
I
Okay,
got you. I got you.
let's talk about the Mavs real quick. When you made the decision to hire Jason Kidd as coach, was him winning a championship in the past for the team? Did that play a role in your
Yeah.
decision?
I mean, of course, because I got to know Jay Kidd really well when he played here the second time around, and I've stayed friends with them and kept in touch, and we're on the same page in terms of what it takes to build a winning team, and it's a process. It's not about okay, we got to win every day today because we've been in that situation where it's okay, every game is life or death. Right now, we're trying to build up so that we have the best team we can be by the end of the year, not at the beginning of the year. And so, we've had our ups and downs. We can't make wide open threes, which is killing me. But at the same time, I think we're making progress in the right direction. So, it, do I wish we had a better record right now? Yeah, but you know what? The whole Western Conference is crazy, so we're
Right.
right in the mix. So it's not like we've fallen way behind.
Right. Now, do you think that the players are influenced by the fact that he had played for the team before? Do you think that influences them or impacts them in a positive way? Like, what have you seen the interaction
I think it's
become?
more that he's a Hall of Famer. They know
Mm,
that Jay Kidd not only has won a championship, but he's been there through all the ups and downs. And
right.
he was known for being, a basketball genius. And he shows that. And the hard part isn't always knowing basketball, it's how can you communicate with players and get them to play hard and get them to play the right way. And it's a process, but I mean, you can just see it with our guys. It's funny. It's, as up and down as this season has been, other than making our 3 pointers, which are way down versus last year, everything else is going really, really well. Our defense is better. There's so many better parts. So it's part of the process. And I'm really, really confident that as we go forward, those shots will start to fall.
Right. Now, how much do you miss Dirk? Like, if Dirk
And
called you and said, "Oh, you know what? Retirement's not working. I want to come back," you would say what?
I would say, come on. I mean, Dirk's always got an open door. But right now, we're building a statue for him. It's been designed and everything, and it's in the process of being
Aw.
sculpted. But the unfortunate part is Dirk kind of moves as fast as that statue. And so it might be a little bit of a challenge for him.
Right. Now, okay, what do you think is more impressive for a player, like a high point or a high assist?
I assist because
Okay.
it's one thing to get your own, but when you're making other guys on the team better, to me, that's a greater accomplishment because, there's 450 main players in the NBA and they're all good. You don't get but to the NBA, without being able to play. And so if you can make everybody on your team better, then you've accomplished a lot.
Is that your strategy when picking your players, knowing that they'll play well as a team versus just looking at them individually?
Without question, you got to win as a team. Team chemistry matters. You might be able to have one knucklehead on the team, but you can't have two. And when guys
Mm,
like each other, and, they don't have to be best friends, but when they like each other and have chemistry on the court, it shows. And
right.
you see that. I mean, the ball moves with us. Guys like to pass. Guys like playing with Luca. They like playing with KP. And when that ball is moving, so other guys get their shots, everybody enjoys playing even more.
What would you rather? Would you rather take a loss on a company P&L of one of the ones that you own or not make it to the playoffs?
Oh, no, I don't care about the money. I want a championship, right? But you
Right.
see behind me, you see that gold guy back there? That's
Yeah.
hilarious, Ryan. I want more of those. I don't need any more money. I need more trophies and rings.
All right, let's go Mavs. Let's get it. This can be the season. This can be the year.
You
I
know what?
believe it in my heart.
Oh, you know what? We're only 22 games in.
Yeah.
There's 60 to go. There's a
Right.
whole lot of basketball to be played. We're going to keep on getting better and better and better. So I'm up on the Mavs, man. I'm excited.
Come on, somebody. Okay, so look, I wanted to shift gears real quick because Matthew McConaughey for a while. Are you friends with him? Do you know him?
Matthew, I
Okay.
mean, we're not best buds, but yeah, I know him.
So he spoke about possibly running for governor. That's no longer the case. You had spoken about maybe being interested in running for president at some point, even though you decided not to. So would you rather go head to head with Matthew McConaughey in politics and government or in selling Lincoln Town cars?
I'd rather go head to head in selling Lincoln Town cars.
You don't
They're
you
actually
don't
nice
think you'd be a
cars.
better you don't think you'd be a better politician?
Nah, I'm not. The only reason I even looked at politics was because of the circumstances. I'd love to see Matthew run for governor. I would love it. I would vote for him in a heartbeat. But I understand the reason I didn't run was because of family.
Right.
Politics are such a mess, and it just they're vicious, right? And my kids are teenagers, and I don't want to put them through that. And
Right.
I can understand he's got kids too, not wanting to go through that. And that's unfortunate because you don't get the best candidates. You get people who are just, at least pretend they're squeaky clean, and that doesn't mean that they're going to be good politicians for us.
I know that you were hopeful about Biden during his campaign. How do you feel about him now? I
I'm
don't really.
fine with them, right?
Okay.
Look, the thing about Biden, like with the previous guy, he just never accepted anything, right? And you couldn't really talk about policy. Now, I don't have to agree with everything Biden does. I can just talk, the things I disagree about, we can have a conversation about it, and that's fine.
Right.
So there's things I like and things I don't like, but at least there's some normalcy to it.
Right.
There's some, you can look at it and say, okay, I know why they're doing it. I may not agree, but I know why. And, as we go forward, if we have more normal politicians again, then it can be all about policy. The
Right.
unfortunate part is we're so divided in this country, and a lot of that has to do with we're bandwagoners for the parties we're in. Like, I'm an independent. To me, the worst thing possible as an American is to join a political party, because it means you're taking a side and you got to support your side. The idea that all, Republican politicians have to vote the same way and all Democratic politicians have to vote the same way, to me is as un-American as it gets.
Right.
You're supposed to represent your constituents. And so if it were up to me, if there's one thing I could do to change it, I'd, dissolve both parties, tell everybody to unjoin and unaffiliate and, just vote for what you think is right for your community and state and country. And to me, those are the changes we need. But unfortunately, unless Matthew runs, I don't know, when it's going to happen.
Right. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar, but Andrew Yang is thinking about creating this independent party
Yeah, the
just to
forward party. Yeah, no, I talked to Andrew about it. And what I really, really like about it is that they're for ranked choice voting,
right.
and also multi-choice voting. And there's another word, I forget what it is. But in any event, with ranked choice voting, it's not just about the parties. When you go in to vote, it's like when you go to the store and you say, okay, get me vanilla. And if they don't have vanilla, get me chocolate. And if they don't have chocolate, get me strawberry.
Right.
Right? So you get to list your top three, four, or five candidates, and then you keep on, striking off the least popular candidates till one gets more than 50%. And to me, that just makes so much more sense because the way our system works, if you get on, if you try to win a primary, no matter what the office, most people don't vote in the primary. But the people who do vote in the primary are the most extreme. And the people that give you money for the primaries are the most extreme. And so politicians have to take the most extreme positions just to get those primary voters in money. And that's half-assed backwards.
Right. And
Whereas
even
with
if they don't necessarily agree with all of those policies and
right.
which is crazy.
And
So
so
it's
by the
either
time
black or
we get
white.
right. By the time we get to the regular elections, you get these crazy candidates. Like the last couple, last, is Joe Biden okay? Yeah, he's okay, but is he the best possible presidential candidate we could have come up with?
Right.
No. Is
Right.
is Donald Trump the best possible candidate the Republicans could have come up with? No. and you can go all the way down to every different position,
Yeah.
but with ranked choice voting, you don't have to pander to the extremes. You can
Right.
say, five, six, seven, 10 people can run and just be honest about their positions and not worry about having to make the primary voters happy. And to
Right.
me, that is so night and day better. So with Andrew Yang, going back to him in the Forward Party, that's
Hmm.
exactly what he's working on. So we've had a lot of conversations about that.
I love that. And I think I mean, that's the way of the future. If you think
I
about
hope so.
making decisions, unfortunately, we pick our politicians based on like, okay, who can best represent part of what I believe in instead of somebody who you actually believe can do the
Yeah,
job. So,
yeah, they're not even getting a chance to run. So like
right.
Trino wanted to run with whatever party or as an independent, it's like, all right, how are you, if you're kind of a Democrat, you're kind of Republican,
Right.
but you really just want to be yourself, you can't do it.
Nope.
You can't do it. And they do everything possible to keep you off the ballot. There's actually an organization, the Center for Competitive Democracy, that I give
Hmm.
money to, and all they do is sue all the states for to get independent candidates and small party candidates on the ballot because
Mm,
Democrats and Republicans do everything they can to keep you off. And
right.
that,
It's so
just
unfair.
yeah, so the best thing this country could ever possibly do is get rid of those two parties, and things would open up.
Right.
It'd be, I think, far, far better.
It would be a lot better for our future. Speaking of which, you talk a lot about being interested and involved in cryptocurrency in its infancy stages, which I think is awesome. But when I think about it, and like, forgive me because I don't know a lot about cryptocurrency, I'm like still learning. But according to what I've read, it's like decentralized,
Right.
encrypted codes, right? So don't you worry that like the same brilliant minds that came up with the encryptions will like the 4-year-olds today will grow up and then find a way to decrypt them, and so then it just
Well,
all
there's
goes.
always that risk, but any asset, right? There's that same risk with stocks. There's that
Hmm.
same risk with real estate. That's why there's insurance on all these things, right? And there's insurance coming on crypto too. You know, there's two sides to crypto. There's all the coins that people speculate on, right? Doge to the moon, baby, to the
Right.
moon, right? Shiba Inu, and this or that, right? And they just want, and to me, that the meme coins, right? Like the meme stocks, that's like a non-perishable lottery ticket.
Sure.
It's just a lot of hopium where you're hoping it goes up, but you get to keep on playing, and it's not really expensive. You can
Right.
spend 10, 20, 50, $5, whatever, and have fun with it and become part of a community. Then there's the other, the more expensive tokens that I think are potentially real businesses. And if you're looking at investing in all those, you have to always ask yourself, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it may be,
Hmm.
what kind of business do those tokens enable? Like with Ethereum, I own a lot of it because it enables the whole NFT industry.
Mm.
Most NFTs are bought and sold on Ethereum, and NFTs are just the first step. These things called smart contracts that allow NFTs to happen, they're just blowing up, and there's so many new applications that are going to come. It's like the early days of the internet when people first started doing websites,
Yep.
and it was like, what's a website? And then it was like, that's a weird, what do I need that for? Like I
Right.
remember, I made my money by starting a company that was basically the first streaming company.
Yep.
And so when we would start streaming, we called it internet broadcasting back then. When we would broadcast online, people would go, "You dummy. Why would I go through all this hassle? I need a modem. I need to download this, and this. Then I need to go to your website
Right.
just to listen to something I can listen on the radio or watch on TV." No one's ever going to do that. Why would anybody ever stream? And it's kind of the same way with the early days of crypto. NFTs are just one proof of concept. There's going to be so many new businesses built around smart contracts and decentralization and the security of it that we're just now not even in the first inning of the first preseason game.
So are you foreseeing kind of or taking the same approach that you did in the early 90s or the early 80s rather with your company with crypto? Are you going to take the same path or the same
Of
route? I mean,
course.
now you have
Yeah.
money, so it's different, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the same, right? When I first started my first company back when, it was all about local area networks and connecting
Mhm.
PCs. Then it was streaming. Then it was being the first to do all high definition TV. Now with crypto, it's there's an application that I'm involved with. It's the token's BCT, and what it is, it's basic carbon ton. BCT.
Okay.
And it's a carbon offset. And what that allows you to do is say, okay, I just went and calculated how much carbon what my carbon footprint is. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to offset my carbon footprint. Well, I did mine, and mine is like 20 per year, just with the house, right? And my kids and family. So I can buy 20 of these BCTs, the basic carbon tonnage, and they're like $6 each. And by buying 20 of those for my family, I've offset my carbon footprint. So that
Oh.
is like a unique type of application for a blockchain that people don't know about yet, but they will over time.
And I mean, there are so many that can come of this, like so
Yeah,
many
non.
different types of blockchains
So,
that
like,
can be
if you use
created.
the same example, if everybody decides to offset their carbon footprint because they think it's the right thing to do for the environment, then that price will go from $6 to $7 to $8. And why that's important isn't because you get to potentially make money off your purchase, but it's more important because companies who have the ability to create carbon offsets, they'll go and do that more because there's more value to doing so, which means they'll be better. It'll be better. Companies will do better things for the environment.
Yes. Oh,
So that's how you go from NFTs to, okay, there are real applications.
right. That can
In
make
this
a
case,
change, a positive one. Yeah, for
yeah.
businesses.
So it's BCT's the token. Basic carbon tonnage is from a company called Toucan, or a network called Toucan. It's on the Polygon network, and it's really easy to buy if you're into crypto at all. But it's, just buy one for $6, and you've offset a ton, 1 ton of your carbon footprint.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, for sharing that negative advice, because some of us don't even know where or how to get started with
Yeah, I
cryptocurrency. So
mean,
that was a great guide.
and again,
Yeah.
it's just like the early days of the internet. I remember, we were getting started, and people thought that, if a 16-year-old kid learned how to program a web page in HTML and JavaScript, they were a genius, right? Because it all seems so
Right?
complicated. Now a web page seems like no big deal to
Right.
everybody who grew up with it. And it's the same thing with crypto. People just get
Right.
more and more confident about it.
Right. Just to kind of pivot back to the Mavs real quick.
Sure.
So Tim Hardaway Jr.'s dad played for the Mavs too. Did you think about legacy when he came onto the
No,
team, or
I just thought
no?
about winning. That's all.
You
I
never
like
tell him,
to.
you never said to him, I'm gonna call your dad.
No, I just asked him how his dad's doing. His dad's not shy. His dad will let you know how he's doing.
I love that. Okay, so in the 80s, or in the 90s rather, before you were owning the Mavs, it was Jamal, Jason Kidd, and Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah, the
Okay,
three
it
Jets.
was the rap. Like there was like the whole thing going on. Can you, in rap form, tell me your top three players?
My top three Mavs are easy. You go number 41 for shooting his fadeaway, the one-leg gun. Then you got my man, Mr. Jason Kidd, trying to shake it up like no one else ever did. And of course comes the new guy, the kid on the block, Mr. Slovenia. Luca makes a drop, man. We're going to make it down. Mavs are always number one.
Yeah.
That's
Did
a
you
little
write
old
that? Was that
man.
off the dome? Did you just
Yeah,
freestyle
right. So
that?
yeah, I'm just thinking about that, right? Yeah. That wasn't bad.
Wow. That was good. Look at you rapping. I love it. Oh my
It's an old school flow, like a mid '90s flow, but that's okay.
God. Who was your basketball hero growing up? Who was it for you?
Julius Erving and Wilt Chamberlain. Those are my guys.
So does a person who's as rich and famous as you ever fanboy over anybody? And if
Oh, yeah.
so, why Matthew McConaughey?
Oh, I don't fanboy necessarily
Just
over
kidding.
Matthew, but I like him,
Just
man.
kidding.
But he's smart, right? He likes to learn, and he's smart, and he has a purpose to what he's doing, as
Sure.
opposed to, hey, I'm famous. That's all, that's all it's about.
So who do you fanboy over? Who makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to meet?
Who have I fanboyed? I fanboyed, he passed away. I fanboyed over DMX when I first met him because one of my all-time favorite songs is one of his joints called Fame. Going to live forever, never going. Yeah, so like that's my jam where I just have to just let it roll. And so I fanboyed over DMX. I fanboyed over Julius Erving. I did his podcast, and I was so like amped up just because it was Julius Erving, and that was like my guy when I was a little
Right.
kid.
I love
I
that.
actually said too much and got fined when I was on his podcast. So yeah, the NBA didn't like what I had to say. So those are two of my biggies.
You just let it all hang out. Listen, I'm with my hero, so I don't really care.
Pretty
I
much
love
is
that.
it, right? I was like, when the first time, a little quick story. So the first time I went to an NBA All-Star game after I bought the Mavs. I went with one of my friends, and there was Julius Erving standing behind me, and I
Yeah.
make my friend take a picture with me standing here, my friend there taking a picture, and Dr. J just behind me, just because I didn't have the nerve to go up and say anything to him. So I got a picture of him in the background. That's
Oh
how
my
crazy.
God. You have to post that. You have to post that on IG.
I got it. I got it right over there, actually.
We want to see it.
No.
Oh man. Okay. I just have another thing to pitch to you because the last time we sat and spoke, we played Shark Tank. I pitched an idea. You said it was a good idea, but you weren't going to buy into it. But I have a new idea this time, Mark, and I really think it's the one. Okay. So, you know how women are obsessed with red bottoms, but some women can't afford red bottoms. A lot of people can't afford red bottoms. How
I
about
don't know
red?
what red bottoms is. What is the
Oh,
red?
Louboutin shoes. They're
Oh,
designer
okay.
shoes.
I don't
They're
even know
like,
what these
so okay,
are.
so they're like $600 shoes, right?
Oh,
What about selling red adhesive soles?
go for it. You know, why not? It would cost you nothing to make, right? Get some made and put them out there. You just got to hope you do it right, because if someone trips and breaks their ankles, they're coming after you. They ain't coming after me.
Damn, that's so. Hold on. So, what are you saying that you're in?
No. You always come this close.
Man,
You
I
always
know.
this close.
Man, all right. Well, you know what? We love you on 97.9 The Beat. We love you in general. You're so hip hop. You're so dope. I mean, so modest. Thank you so much for
My
sitting with
pleasure.
us.
No,
I
I
appreciate
love the
you.
station, man. I grew to it. You know, when I head down to the arena, it's just fun. You guys always keep the beat up, right? You know, that's what I'm looking for, man. Get that tempo going, keep that.
Yes.
Oh, that's what it is for me, Karina.
Thank you, Mark.
You got it.
Sending you a great
Big
big
hug.
hug.